12 News breaking news now.
As we begin tonight, take a look at this video from Sky 12 over Gold Canyon, which is east of Apache Junction. You can see a large home completely engulfed in flames. Remarkably, though, no one was hurt.
12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra is live at the scene. And Gabby, our crews is still battling that fire.
Well, Mark Ribe, this has been a very lengthy and intense firefight. It's been more than 3 hours now since this fire first kicked out. And as you can see behind me, still heavy flames and smoke coming from this house on just the corner of the neighborhood. This is what we've been seeing on and off for the past 2 hours or so since we've been out here. Just flames popping up, climbing high into the sky. Then they seem to get a handle on it and they go down and then they pop right back up. One of the challenges they're telling me is that this is just such a large home that they're dealing with. They're fighting this defensively right now, so they have ladder trucks and hand lines trying to get as much water as they can on the flames. But I want to show you some video from Sky 12 taken just shortly after the fire started. The Superstition Fire and Medical Department tells me the homeowner called this fire in just after 6:30 this evening, and when the initial crews arrived on scene, they saw the garage was already filled with heavy fire and the flames were extending into the second floor and the attic of the home. Right away, crews did an initial all clear of the home, making sure no one was inside. And it was at that point crews made a very quick decision to get out and fight the fire defensively. Officials tell us they made that decision at just the right time. Take a listen.
There was such heavy fire involvement when our first crews got on scene. It was kind of all over the entire structure. Due to the instability of the structure and the high fire involvement, our crews were initially pulled out and we went defensive, and about 60 seconds later we had a partial collapse. So really good timing on that.
And fire officials tell us the homeowner was treated for smoke inhalation on scene. As of right now, he's believed to be the only person that was here at the time this fire kicked out. He did have a dog with him as well, and that animal is reportedly safe tonight. Now, this is a residential area of Gold Canyon. It has a lot of brush and desert landscaping. There's other large homes around, so crews are working to make sure this fire doesn't spread or jump to those nearby homes. They're using hand lines to keep the surrounding ground wet. And as you can see out here, just a ton of fire trucks, a lot of firefighters, several agencies responded trying to get a handle on this fire. They're rotating in and out. We've seen just a lot of crews trying to help out tonight. So as soon as they do get a handle on these flames and that fire is put out, they'll have people who come periodically throughout the night to check on hot spots. They also have drones flying, and those have some thermal detection in them as well. And then the fire investigator will go in and try and determine how this fire started. So stay with 12 News. We'll follow this and share updates as soon as we have them. Live in Gold Canyon, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, it looks like it's going to be a long night there. Thank you. A 25-year-old man is facing a second-degree murder charge after allegedly shooting and killing a stranger in a gas station bathroom. The shooting happened at the QuikTrip near 44th Street in McDowell, and according to court records, DeAndre Franklin allegedly ignored a line of men waiting to use the bathroom and attempted to open the occupied stall doors. One of the men in line, 52-year-old Danny Castor, told Franklin that there was a line. The pair reportedly exchanged a few words before Franklin allegedly shot Castor several times. Franklin left before officers arrived. Records reveal that he turned himself in after speaking to his mother on the phone. Castor died at the hospital, and his family tells 12 News that they are heartbroken and in disbelief that such a brief encounter could lead to his death.
It's absolutely senseless, you know, like over a restroom. My brother's birthday is actually on Thursday, so he was 6 days shy of his 53rd birthday before his life was taken.
Franklin is being held on a $1 million secured bond. He is scheduled to return to court at the end of the week.
An update to a shooting at a Gilbert home near Higley and Riggs Roads. Police say a 74-year-old woman is dead, and a 76-year-old man was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Police say the daughter of the two victims called 911 after she heard her parents arguing, followed by multiple gunshots. Police say there are currently no outstanding subjects or threats to the community. Tempe police have identified the body found near a construction site as a 91-year-old man who had been missing for weeks. Police say that Apollonio Romero, a longtime Tempe resident, was last seen January 2nd walking near Weber Drive and Miller Road. Family members say that he had dementia and diabetes and was without his medication, which heightened concerns for his safety. His grandson described the area as the only community his grandfather had known for more than 6 decades, saying that it was really out of character for him to be out alone. Tempe police have not released his cause of death and say the investigation is ongoing.
Tomorrow morning, the Chandler Unified School District will hold a follow-up meeting on budget cuts for the next school year. The school board approved most of its proposed staff cuts to close a $12 million budget shortfall earlier this month. Tomorrow's meeting starts at 7:30 a.m. and it will focus around how to move forward with the media specialists and their tech teacher roles at the elementary and middle school levels. Our Today in AZ team will bring you a live report leading up to the meeting starting at 5:30 tomorrow morning. Well, changes are coming to Mesa's park ranger program after an investigation found misconduct among rangers. Last month, we told you about the report that found cases of rangers using racial slurs and mishandling drugs and weapons. 6 rangers were put on leave and 4 were reassigned. Today, Mesa announced the program will now be under the leadership of Mesa Police instead of the city's Park and Recreation Department.
It matters because our community wants to trust that we're doing the right things. Our community wants to know that moving forward, the park rangers are people that are out there to help, and we're confident of that.
Mesa Police says that they'll ensure that rangers are appropriately supervised and that standards are upheld.
Tonight, President Trump is headed to Switzerland to meet with world leaders and business heavyweights at the World Economic Forum in Davos. It comes as tensions continue to escalate with America's top allies as the president pursues acquiring Greenland from Denmark. Exactly a year into his second term, President Trump touting his administration's accomplishments.
But by the way, we've had the best stock market in history, the best 401ks in history, and we inherited a mess.
But not backing down from threats of imposing escalating tariffs against some of the nation's closest allies unless Denmark agrees to negotiate the sale of Greenland to the U.S.
How far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland?
You'll find out.
Greenland is a territory of Denmark, a large Arctic island rich in rare earth minerals, which the president says is key to U.S. national security. Denmark and Greenland's leaders insist the island is not for sale.
We are thankful for the support from all our allies, all the countries of the European Union, for stating and constantly saying we need to respect the world order. International law is not a game.
At the Davos Economic Forum in Switzerland, European leaders accused the president of threatening the future of NATO and the post-World War II order.
We stand firmly with Greenland and Denmark and fully support their unique right to determine Greenland's future.
President Trump revealing French President Emmanuel Macron texted him, "I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland." Macron today firing back.
We do prefer respect to bullies. We do prefer science to plotism, and we do prefer rule of law to brutality.
Speaking to the British Parliament, Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson tried to put the U.S.'s European allies at ease.
We have always been able to work through our differences calmly as friends, and we will continue to do that. I want to assure you this morning that that is still the case. As the Prime Minister said yesterday, let it...
President Trump insists that if the U.S. does not control Greenland, Russia or China will take over. The Russian foreign minister said today there is no such evidence to Mr. Trump's claims.
Today, President Trump joined the White House press briefing to mark the first anniversary of his second inauguration. Trump used the briefing to tout what he sees as the major successes of his first year back in office.
But here is here's the book. These are all things we have. I'm going to read a few of the samples, but look at this. These are all, each line is something that we did. Nobody did that before. And it's big stuff, too. Look, we have the hottest country in the world.
But thousands across the country used today to protest the president and the administration's goals. 12 News journalist Sean Rice has more on our state's largest Free America protest from the Arizona state capitol.
200 to 300 people marched in unison today around the grounds of the Arizona State Capitol in usual protest fashion, shouting into loudspeakers and microphones, holding up signs and looping around the Arizona State Capitol in march fashion multiple times. Their message today, one of criticism in the way that they think our country is heading and also calling for change. Tell me what it says on the side that we're looking at and what it means to you.
Hands off to our democracy, which I feel is being just ripped apart. The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, all our civil rights are just being decimated.
The signs tell the story. For Linda Weiss and hundreds of others, showing up to the Arizona State Capitol was to be a part of a community. What is it about coming and joining a community of those folks coming around with a shared voice that is impactful?
You know what? It's crazy because the first time I came out to one of these protests, it was just very striking to me that we're a diverse crowd. We're normal people. They're just people that want the same things we want.
Tuesday's nationwide Free America protests happening hours after President Donald Trump took the podium at the White House.
We took a country that was dead, and it's the hottest country in the world right now, and that's after 1 year.
As the sun set on a winter day in downtown Phoenix, the protest shut down streets around the state capitol, everyone shouting a united message.
United, we'll never be defeated.
So for all of these protests, you have to file a permit to let law enforcement know you're going to be protesting. In this case, as you can see to my right, shutting down an entire street as they've headed south on 15th Avenue and then now west on Washington. I want to point your attention down here. Law enforcement, to protect people involved, have completely shut down Washington at this point from traffic, directing them another direction so that there is no chance that anybody here is injured at all.
There are sane Americans left who want better for us and our communities.
And tonight's protest wrapped up around 45 minutes ago. The way law enforcement responded tonight to shutting down streets really does deserve praise. Both Phoenix Police and Arizona DPS trailed this group of about 100 protesters and kept them safe as each and every one of them lived out their First Amendment rights. In downtown Phoenix, Sean Rice, 12 News.
All right, Sean, thank you.